No, I'm busy tonight, actually.
Well, good Monday morning. Welcome to the HotPants Club podcast. I am Pete. Down on the other end, as always, is
Chris.
Back on buttons and bells and whistles.
Yusuf, you're the man.
Yes, he is. Today's special guest is the one, the only, Commissioner
Ben Gordon.
Yes. It is Monday, July 18th. Today is National Caviar Day. Those are fish eggs, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
I've never eaten them.
I thought they were fish turds.
Eggs.
Whatever.
What are the good ones?
Same.
Sturgeon?
Beluga?
Whatever.
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon? Have you had them before, Ben?
Not sturgeon.
Not sturgeon, no.
Okay, caviar's dumb. National Sour Candy Day. Gummy bears.
Not my jam.
Okay, then this might be because you're the only one in this room that's married. National Get Out of the Doghouse Day.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck.
How'd you end up in the doghouse most recently, Ben? Or do you not want to?
Probably agreeing to this podcast.
We're sorry.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Still time to run away.
No, he came here. Fuck that. I'm not
Okay,
apologizing for that. He
here
came
of my
down here.
own volition.
Yeah, he wasn't brought here at gunpoint. So, it's Monday, July 18th, and so we're getting really ahead here. And
we do have a James Webb in Space episode coming out. Sorry, we're a little late.
Yeah, that'll be
Soon.
very soon.
PBS special tonight.
Is there is there tonight?
There is.
Ooh.
9 o'clock.
The pictures were cool. We
Yeah,
won't
they
get
were.
into it too much, but there's been a lot of stuff happening in space, and we need to do
Did you
another
see the one
space
of
episode.
Did you see the one of Jerry? Did you see
Yeah,
the one where they
shit.
found the Jerry Nebula?
Yeah, our profile pictures right now.
I did. It's amazing. He now has hair. Another star is born. I love you, Jerry. I don't get to call you Jerry until I'm here. So
Jerry in the sky with diamonds.
No, it's Jerry in the sky with hot pants.
Acid.
So, Ben, we want to talk about a few different topics with you today.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I want to preface with Ben is. Why don't you tell the folks at home what it is you do for a living?
So I am a hospice nurse. I have been working in the hospice field since 2017. I currently am like an on-call nurse after hours, so do a lot of symptom management, admissions, deaths, and the like.
Okay.
And so, my job basically is to provide someone with a good death. So, or to help as much as I can.
Okay. Do you believe in the right to die?
What's that called? Quality of life?
Yes, quality, not quantity.
Palliative life care?
Yeah, so palliation means symptom management, and you can palliate symptoms in any stage of your life.
Okay.
If you have a broken arm and you're taking pain medication for it, you are it's palliative care to receive pain medication. It's symptom management. So
Okay. Okay. Do you believe in the right to die? That was a question I wanted to ask right at the start.
absolutely, and that's kind of what. That is kind of why I chose the path that I have thus far. I think that as an industry, first of all, our medical system here in the United States is broken. And I feel like there is a really big emphasis on quantity rather than quality. And
Treatment, not cure?
yes.
Yes.
Well, that's in all healthcare. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense to them. So that's probably why hospice makes little to no money, really. So, in fact, I would venture to say that most hospice is done at a loss for billing. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know the ins and outs of hospice business, but I do know, the ins and outs of what it's like inpatient hospice in the hospital facility settings and at home. So, the right to die, I believe that we have the right to choose how we die, and that's something that isn't readily talked about here. So
It's not because I've heard the term death with dignity before.
yes, so death with dignity is actually a movement to which they allow physician or medically assisted suicide.
Right. And now I remember as a kid that Kevorkian was always in hot water because this was his thing, correct?
It was.
Is he dead or is he still in prison?
No, he's passed.
Yeah.
He was in prison till the end, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
He was in prison with
I'll look it
Kwame.
up.
You just
With
lie and I'll-
Kwame?
I bet that block was hot.
You just lie and I'll swear by it.
They were bunkmates.
So what Kevorkian did, this man was actually a genius. There is documentaries about him developing like battlefield transfusion devices where you can hook up his like one-way valve to a dead body and then transfuse into a living soldier.
Shit.
And so
Don't want to have to do that.
I mean, try carrying blood around though, right? So the blood's good for a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that was one of the first breakthroughs he made, and then he developed some sort of van, and it was a setup to where a patient would actually initiate their own demise.
A van?
A van.
Like ice cream truck suicide?
Yeah.
Yep. Kevorkian got out, and he actually did a congressional run in 2008, but he did die in 2011.
He got out though before he died?
Yep.
So what he was doing was borderline euthanasia, but
What's the difference between euthanasia and doctor-assisted suicide? What are you talking about?
big difference. So euthanasia is where someone actually
Makes the decision
proverbially pulls the trigger for you.
Okay.
without your consent.
No, even with your consent, like if I were to push a medication that ended your life and that was my intent, or through neglect that happened, that would that would be murder.
Yes. Yes.
So, death with dignity and physician or medically assisted suicide, a patient would have to actually take a pill themselves that would end their life, or actually do this themselves.
Okay.
Now, the medically assisted part is where a physician would prescribe
Right.
that and provide them the correct dosage and advice on how to do it safely and effectively.
Okay.
So as a hospice nurse, I have witnessed some horrible deaths. Some deaths are extremely peaceful and amazing. And, it's been a pleasure to witness like a sacred thing, like someone just dying in peace. Mm-hmm. And other things are just horrible. Just unimaginably painful, drawn out, and a burden to not only the patient, but their family and their caregivers and to everyone involved.
So I feel that this is relatable, so I'm going to bring it up. When you had informed me that my mom didn't have a lot of time left, and you said it was months, and that, I'd been through this with her and my grandmother before her, for years we're being told, you don't have a lot of time left with her. And it just went on and on and on and on. And her progression was quick. When she was admitted to the hospital on a Wednesday morning, we were in the room and the doctors came in and they told my father and I, we can pursue aggressive treatment or we can make her comfortable. And my dad says, okay, so what do we got to do? And so I pulled my dad in the hallway and I said, we're not doing this for her. You're doing this for you. She wants to go home. Doesn't mean she wants to go back to the house. She wants to go home. She's just tired. She's been fighting for too long. Mm-hmm. And so it was in that moment that both of us could feel defeat yet relief at the same time. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
You don't want to let them go. You don't want to make that decision. But at the same time, their pain is at an end. And now, and I don't mean this to sound flip, but like, it gets tiring. I know that he was tired. And I know that it took years off of his life taking care of her. Mm-hmm. And so it was Wednesday morning. She never woke up again, and then she passed the next day. But she did it comfortably. I wasn't there. You know, like I don't know the exact process, but I do know that had it been, let's get her on these aggressive antibiotics and get her home, that it would have just been miserable, you know? And it's drawing it out. And this is what she wanted. She did not want, you know, she didn't want to be propped up on drugs and made to feel better for everybody else. She'd done her part. I mean, fuck, she was my mom. That earned you right into heaven right away. And married to my father, you know, like, she's a fucking saint. She is. So I wholeheartedly agree in the fact that we should let people die with dignity and that it should be their choice.
So when someone is signed on to hospice, it has to be informed consent. So either the person who is enrolling into a hospice benefit, which is a Medicare benefit, by the way.
Right.
It's an entitlement benefit. So if you're over the age of 65, it is covered at 100%.
Okay.
They have to be aware of their options and make the informed consent that they are choosing. They're no longer choosing curative measures. So if they're not capable of making that choice for themselves, then it's up to their healthcare advocate or random family member that may be estranged that they haven't seen in years to make that decision for them, unfortunately. So it's easier if someone has a court-appointed guardian, to be honest.
So most of my family will be distanced and or gone by the time it comes for that. So, Chris, you are going to be my power of attorney.
Let's do it. Oh, wait. I don't have to decide yet?
So
What a cunt.
Good point. Please, if you haven't talked to your friends and family and everyone about what your wishes are, do that.
You can do it in Michigan? You can kill yourself in Michigan?
No, well, we are not a state death with dignity state right now. There are 9 states: Oregon, Washington, California, D.C., Vermont. I couldn't name the rest of them.
New York?
I don't.
Sounds like liberal strongholds.
Yeah, they are
for fuck's sake.
generally. We'll call them liberal stronghold. But however. So if someone has a terminal illness and they have less than 6 months to live and they know that their death is going to be difficult, you know, those people can choose to go through counseling and vetting, and they can, you know, meet with a doctor and discuss all of their options and choose, medically assisted suicide. And it's death with dignity. And if they can find a physician who's willing to do that, which is more difficult than you can imagine.
I can imagine that.
So you can go over state lines and do it?
You have to be a resident.
Yep.
Switzerland, our friends at Switzerland have a suicide pod that you can just go into and knock you off.
What do you mean knock you off? Like push it over a cliff?
Nah, you just like go in the pot. I don't know if it's
like how you do the van.
I don't know if it's lethal injection.
Van?
I don't know if it's potassium or what it is, but you just go in the pod, and then it injects you with some stuff, and then you're just out of there.
I'm getting 2 tickets on a plane to Switzerland. One is one way, the other is round trip. And when Chris doesn't come back, we'll know what happened to him.
No, man, you just go scuba.
I am willing to fly into an airplane, or fly in an airplane, being that I fucking hate airplanes and I've never been on one, to stick you in a fucking suicide pod.
Bro,
I'm not admitting that on
you
the
just
air
go,
right now.
You go swimming with the dolphins, and then when you all get down, they do this on like honeymoons all the time. When you get down underwater, you just look at that motherfucker and you pull that shit out of their mouth, and they're looking at you like, no, you hear about this all the time, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what happened. We were down there and they fucking died.
Yeah.
Remind me never to go scuba diving.
Right?
Yeah, I've
With
never.
Chris?
No,
Stay your ass all the way over there.
Look, if I'm going anywhere with him, like especially in his car from now on, it's gonna be driving Miss Daisy. I ain't sitting up front because he's gonna like karate chop me and say it was a fucking seatbelt.
Undo the seatbelt.
He's got ejectocitos in there.
So
Who's that?
It's just the dog.
Back to expressing your wishes, please. If you haven't, again, tell your family members, your friends, what you want and what you don't want, because it may come down to
Helix.
You've got an uncle that lives out of state who you don't talk to, who's now got to make healthcare decisions for you.
Yeah.
And so, if you have enough people saying no, he didn't want that. If you don't want a feeding tube, if you don't want to drag this out, tell people. Right, and if you
I'm
do
saying
want
it on
that
air,
stuff,
I
tell
don't want to
people.
drag out. I don't want to drag. I want. You can use this in a court of law, couldn't you? You could point to this podcast and be like, "Look, I want none of my earthly possessions to ever go to Chris Graves."
Okay.
And I don't want him.
No, because you could be acting right now.
Yeah, so this is most of this stuff isn't.
He
serious.
wants my underwear. What's that?
Yeah, most of this stuff is satire, so I don't know that they take you seriously on here, but
Satire.
Satire.
I mean, I'm aware of that. He's aware of that. But are you aware of that?
I be dropping knowledge, dog. Red pills for days.
Yeah.
The truth.
That's his new name is The Truth.
So one of
Prophet
I mean,
Truth.
if you want to drop red pills on assisted suicide, one of the things that's going to happen, why it's legal in so many Democratic strongholds, is a depopulation agenda around climate change. So once you start hearing about the world's overpopulated, the world's hot, why would you bring a baby into this world, blah, 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 blah. You hear Democrats talk about this all the time. Why would I have children when this world's so fucked up? You're doing a disservice to the child, blah, 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 blah. There's a depopulation agenda. What they'll do is they'll use your good nature against you, and they'll start tricking young, healthy people into they're saving the earth by killing themselves. So you're not going to be killing old people that are on their last 6 months of life. You're going to have, again, the liberal death cult is going to convince people to kill themselves to save the earth.
so you legitimately
Welcome, Ben. Welcome.
you do
Cool story, bro.
You do have to have a documented prognosis of 6 months or less to even be considered for death with dignity.
Right.
So,
Well, not in Switzerland. You just jump in the fucking pod.
well,
So what? No, hold on. So what you're telling me, Christopher, is that in these Democratic strongholds, these liberal strongholds, that death with dignity is going to be used to depopulize America.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll use your good nature against you and tell you you're saving the earth by killing yourself.
Right. So the supply and who is it exactly that they're trying to kill? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a cool story. I really like that. That's going to be a good book someday.
Okay.
I'll read it. It'll be in the fiction section.
They're trying. They're already advocating for it.
okay.
They'll have you download your brain into a computer and say you can live digitally, and then they'll say you need to kill
That's a
yourself.
show,
to save
Chris.
the
What do you?
Earth.
That's
That's what they're
upload.
That's what they're advocating for.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'll bite. How do you get chosen for this process?
Shit, you just got to watch enough CNN, and then you do it on your own. You're like, I need to save the earth by killing myself. It all makes sense to me.
I think he means that we haven't got to that part of the plan yet.
No, we haven't
No.
got. They're trying to push us
No,
towards
see,
that.
here's the thing. There's always a plan that they haven't fucking fully thought out.
No, there's just the climate change agenda.
Right.
It's the Green New Deal agenda.
Okay.
I say go for it.
They'll always use
There's
your,
a list of people I would love to see just disappear.
They'll always use your
tell you
good
that.
nature.
Or do we need these people if they can be tricked into killing themselves and living?
No, the liberal strongholds. Go for it.
Fuck it, do it.
I was thinking a certain way, but now that he said it like that, I think I'm completely with him. If they're willing to kill themselves, then they should go fuck themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know that sounds pretty, but like,
So
I love how it takes literally 14 seconds before I go, I've ended up here.
yeah.
I survived heroin and crack to end up on this fucking couch right now. And it baffles me that I got all the way here and to my couch. Have not fucking just been blessed with the knowledge that he possesses. Like, how did I not fucking see it this whole time? How was I not aware of all that exists behind the fucking
You were the
curtain?
one saying the earth was overpopulated the other day.
It's been overpopulated.
It's not overpopulated. If you took 8 billion human beings, if you took 8 billion human beings, sat them in a square, right, with 3 feet of space around them on every side, it would fill a square 51 miles. 51 miles this side, 51 miles this side. It'd be like from here to Flint.
Okay.
That's all the humans on Earth. 8 billion. The Earth is not overpopulated, but they're trying to tell you it is. and they're trying to tell you that you're making enough carbon that you're dirty and you're killing everyone. So don't bring babies into this earth. As a matter of fact, why don't you kill yourself because you're making dirty carbon? That's what they've been advocating for.
Oh, I think if I'd kill myself, it'd be because I listened to you too much. Okay, so Ben, my next question for you.
Red pills.
No, I thought they were pink, and they're called Midol. That's what most conservatives take. So, anyway.
That's my favorite pain medication, bro.
My,
Fucking Midol. That's the shit.
no, I want to. Okay, that's a serious question. You are a healthcare professional. No, what does Midol do?
It's Tylenol with a like a decongestant in it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So if I took Tylenol and a decongestant at the same time, I'm basically taking Midol.
I think it's a pregabalin, or I think that's what's in it.
Why is it that up until this moment I never thought I was able to take Midol?
Yeah,
Like if
It's
somebody
not
tried to
marketed.
give it to me,
It's
just
not
slap it
marketed
out their
towards you,
hand.
bro.
I like
yeah,
so
because you don't have. I mean, I always thought you'd grow a uterus or something if you were a guy and you took it.
legit Tylenol does nothing for me, but
Me
if
either.
I take Midol or Pamprin, fuck, that shit works.
Really? You've taken Midol?
I will be sponsored by you if you allow it. Send me some free Midol because I love
Jerry
it.
HotPants, brought to you by Midol.
I'm telling
I
you,
fucks with it.
I fucks with it.
I haven't heard.
Midol.
it's a true
I fucks
story.
with it.
I haven't heard Pamprin in probably 20 fucking years.
I fuck with some Pamprin too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
When I was a kid, they had Marinol. It's synthetic THC in a pill.
Oh, that's real shit.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
That's
There was
actually
a guy-
a legitimate hospice medication.
Really?
Yeah, it's a appetite stimulant. So,
Okay.
People who come on to hospice for protein calorie malnutrition will, in many instances, try a Marinol to stimulate their appetite.
Ooh.
Because if you're not getting enough protein in your diet, you're not getting vitamin C, which is a collagen builder. Some of these protein building blocks, you will break down and essentially kind of just rot if you're sitting there. So, you'll get pressure injuries, aka bed sores, and so when you can. Even if someone's dying, if you can stimulate them to up their protein intake, it will help them have a more dignified death.
Nutrition. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something. Hey, I was talking to someone today who said they get nauseous and can't eat. And it's been going on for days and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I was like, why don't you try weed? And they don't want to get high. What is there? I don't think CBD does that, but there's new THCs like Delta 9 or something like that like doesn't get you high. I don't know. Have you seen any of this stuff yet?
So I like to leave my medical issues in the hands of medical professionals. I think that nurses are the worst patients. That is me.
Yeah.
But there are legitimate treatments out there that can help. One of them being Remeron, which is an antidepressant, and given in low dose can actually help stimulate your appetite. So, and antiemetics, which are used for nausea.
Yeah.
Just under your tongue, things like that.
So what if I were to get my chakra crystals out and do a seancing spellish thing to try
You have to charge them in the sun first.
So let's talk about that. So big difference between. Have you ever thought about how you want to die or where you want to die?
This is no joke. Do you know how they took care of Hunter S. Thompson after he died?
No,
In the canon?
Yeah. It's like
He's already dead then.
not after death. Where have you thought about where or how you would like to die? Given a choice.
I'm going to die from a heart attack like the rest of my family, about 85. We enjoy fatty meats in my family.
Okay, so let's play that tape through. So heart attack. Granted, you are maybe 2 minutes away from the hospital, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if someone responds
But
and you end up there,
It's Bay Dad, though.
okay. We're not going to use their real name because you know why. So you end up there, and they end up putting you on a vent,
Yep.
and then they're doing therapeutic. They're going to cool you down. You're going to be on a vent. You're going to be on all these drips. Do you want to die while you're at the hospital, or do you want to go home and be surrounded by people who love you and care about you in a more comfortable setting and die?
Right.
Okay,
So-
hold on before you say anything. At that point, if I get to be his age, let's say, or no, let's say it's 20 years from now, okay? You guys will be my loved ones, and you will fucking draw dicks on me as I'm fucking floating into the next world. So, no, let me die in that motherfucker. Continue.
All right, so for
Wake
me,
up, Pete.
Yeah, wake up. So if you can, at all, for me, this is just my preference. If I know I'm going to go, I would much rather die at home.
Yeah.
And second choice, if I can't die at home and I don't have the family to care for me, there are hospice homes in our area that are free.
No,
100%.
Yeah, because we never got a bill.
Yeah, well, so I can't. Well, I shouldn't talk about them.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Where my mother went, you can take care of that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't it's that difficult.
You don't need to delete it. Here's the deal. So I work in homes, facilities, hospitals, and I don't want to condemn or condone any way that people do things, but there are options out there. There are homes throughout the United States where it's donation based only, and so instead of it being an actual like care facility staffed by CNAs and nurses, what they do is they have a home, and they are staffed by volunteers.
No.
And a good example of one that is wonderful in our area is the Tony and Trish home in Auburn. And so it's a 6-bed home, and it's like you're going to a family member's house. You have your own room. It's big and comfortable. There's couches and recliners in there, open kitchen, and it is a place you can go so you don't have to die alone or in a sterile facility. So it's awesome.
They were just letting COVID patients die in the hospital without seeing their loved ones?
Yes, they were. And after a time, they would let one family member in. And so the rest of the family would be standing back behind glass in full PPE, not able to comfort the family member who's in there holding their hand.
It's brutal, man.
Dude, it was fucking horrific. And it's still going on right now.
Yeah.
It's picked up. It was picking up a little bit right after the 4th. And hopefully we're dying down a little bit, but
not literally.
Yeah, not literally. It's been awful, and there are many COVID deniers who end up on the vent, and it's like you have to talk their family member through that the death certificate's going to have COVID on it, and they're like, no, I don't want it on there. It's not going to say that. I'm like, unfortunately,
that's what happened.
That is how they pass.
Well, the story with COVID from the jump was that it's always going to be here, and it's just going to be another. Like it might say died from flu, it might say died from pneumonia, and for the rest of the time, it might just say COVID on there.
Here's the deal. What it'll say is that it might say like bilateral pneumonitis, or and it'll say due to COVID-19 or something like that. But yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
100%.
It's just going to be another thing.
We've had coronavirus forever. This is just a new
strain of it. My nurse friends used to make jokes that if there was if you had to catch a virus, the one you wanted to get was a coronavirus because they were relatively harmless.
Fucking cold.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
that's changed.
It has. So the most significant of the side effects or comorbidities once you get COVID is clotting disorders.
Yeah.
So people having strokes and PEs end up dying young in the ICU from a stroke or a pulmonary embolism because they had COVID.
Yeah, I had COVID.
Months
I just
later.
had a stuffy nose. It was like I wouldn't even noticed it if you wouldn't have told me I had it. And then I know one person that had it, was fine, had it. They had to go in, get the clots out, and he was older and a little overweight. And
yeah.
Did a bunch of us have COVID and not realize it?
Probably.
Like,
so in the very, very beginning, they shut us down in March that year, correct?
It was right before the St. Pat's parade because I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, you were still drinking then, right?
Yeah.
Fuck no! But in February of that year, I remember reading articles about it in the paper because it was right around the time Kobe died. So it was like,
Oh, yeah, he died in January.
just right
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I was reading news stories about it. I bought a bunch of food, batteries, solar panels, all kinds of shit, dog. I was getting ready.
but I was reading about it, and then I was at work, and I put the paper down, and I went in the office, and I sat down, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I feel like shit. And everybody, like in my little circle there at the work and in the apartment building at that time, because it was just me, none of my friends had lived in or were really coming over there yet. And this was late. I know it was like mid-February. I was so fucking sick. I couldn't get up and go across the room, blah, 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 blah. It lasted 3 days, and it like cycled out, and I was great, cool, whatever. About a month later, I got sick as fuck again, and this time it was even worse, and it lasted a week and a half, and I got tested, and they told me I had influenza A or B. I can't remember. And he said, there aren't a whole lot of cases around here right now, so that's weird. And I'm like, you're sure this isn't COVID? You know, I'm not trying to tell a doctor his job because I'm not a fucking doctor.
We didn't have a test for it then.
This would have been
Arguably, we still don't.
well, no. I wasn't like March. This was like April-ish.
Yeah, I had something right before COVID hit, like that February, and they were, I mean, maybe it was March. It was late. It was right before that, and they were like, probably got some flu here, some steroids, suck it up for 2 weeks, and like,
Yeah,
10
no.
days worth
When
of
I got
steroids.
knocked out prior to it being labeled a pandemic, before then I had whatever it was bad, but then
Chlamydia.
Do you remember when? Do you remember there was airborne gonorrhea like 10 years ago? They were talking about coming around.
What?
Yeah, airborne gonorrhea. Like 10. Look it up. 10, 15 years ago, it was like a thing. They were worried about.
You told me to
spread.
look up something the other day, and I still can't find whatever the fuck
What,
that was.
Aleppo? You don't remember fucking Aleppo getting bombed for 3 months straight? That's your fault, bro.
You told me about
patient
that.
0 on airborne gonorrhea?
I don't know. It was a thing. I remember, and I looked it up
Apparently,
because
yeah.
when they started talking about
either
this
you
new
or
airborne
Yusuf.
thing, that'd be wild, bro.
Airborne gonorrhea.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the thing.
So like in your eye. So
I have no idea. It was
eyes
just like it was supposed. They were talking about it going to be. Remember super gonorrhea too? It was like drug
Yeah, I remember
resistant
that.
gonorrhea was coming around.
Penicillin stopped working.
But
Yeah,
now
it
that
did.
we started talking about STDs, your dogs were really excited.
Yeah. He's got his balls. He gets a little excited sometimes.
He's trying to lick that airborne gonorrhea off your fucking wrist there. So,
There's a parvo outbreak in Genesee dog shelter. In the Genesee dog shelter, I had human parvo once.
is that foot and mouth disease?
No, it's
Human
no.
parvo, airborne gonorrhea. God damn, man.
Chill, bro.
Hell yeah.
You just gotta ignore.
What
him.
is parvo again?
Parvo? Is a dog virus, but
Is that
there's
like
a
a heart?
there's a human virus called parvo that you get when you're a kid. It's called slap face. You get a little 101 degree temperature. You got it for 3 days. But if you don't get it in pediatric and you get it as an adult, it's like a month of all your joints are swelled up, bro, and like it's bad.
Slap face.
Yeah.
Slap face.
Come on down, see me on slurping motherfucker face. Anyway, so
Well, this took a left.
it always does. Have you not listened before?
That's my thing.
Yeah. Well, with you, Ed, I'm sure it takes a right.
Yeah, it takes
Yes.
it takes a quick right, and then it goes right into a fucking bounce house. So, Yusuf, do you have any?
What were we talking about?
Who fucking knows? Like we came in, we were talking about death with dignity, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden we're talking about.
Yeah, so you mentioned crystals and chakras and all that.
Oh yeah, we got to come all the way back.
I know all those girls, man.
So
Those girls.
I know a few too.
So there are death doulas.
Hi, Casey.
A death doula?
Death doulas. So, like there's birth doulas. There are death doulas.
What does that word mean?
Doula is someone who can walk you through all the stages of dying. And not just you, but your family. And they can be with you and kind of be your guide.
I now know what
into
I'm
the
going to do
afterlife.
for a living.
So we actually have a mutual friend in Midland who took a course on this, and I'm not sure if she's going to pursue this career path, but I was talking to her about it.
Is this a legit career? Or is this like
No, this is a legit thing.
okay?
So, me being a nurse, I handle more of the symptom management part. The death doula helps prepare the families.
Like the bedside manner type stuff.
Well, no, not
shaman?
Spiritually, emotionally,
Oh, okay.
will help you get paperwork in order. and prepare yourself for final arrangements and coming up with a plan. They will literally help you through every aspect from like an admission onto hospice if you choose to go that route, to washing someone after they passed away. And so they will completely guide you through the whole process of dying. It's pretty cool. So, what's he doing?
The public needs content.
Show him your butthole.
No.
Just go to his Otis page. You'll see that there. So while he's out there doing this thing, you
not on Otis anymore.
I'm not either. Now that he's gone, you have a beautiful voice. Just so you know. Oh. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
What if we got rid of him and we put you there?
I'm 100% on Team Yusuf.
Oh, don't tell him we said this. Don't tell him.
He is under-recognized.
Look, he's not that he's not.
He's the tech guy.
He is the tech guy.
He's not really the tech guy. This is all my equipment. He just sits there.
Well, okay.
Who else is going to bring up dolphins and rape and?
Yeah.
We didn't know he was crazy till we started. Yeah. We knew we didn't know he spends all that time at his job and then with all those damn cats.
Yeah,
and it's driving.
And the people that he's got, anyway, I'm not going to say that. So, anyway, what if we had you in like the second producer role or something like that?
And then we just,
just kind of fake. So anyway, he's like probably the best part of the show. And hey, buddy,
howdy.
What's that all about?
Work.
It was so goddamn important you had to stop in the middle of the fucking show, huh?
It's work.
You listen to this when you edit it?
Yes.
Oh.
How do you think I edit? What do you think? Eyes
visually?
closed?
I'm 100% fucking loyal here. So.
Yeah, he's a fucking purist. Just so you know.
Yeah, huh?
So.
What are we talking about? What the fuck
I
happened?
love all of you.
Meanwile, I don't know. He's going to send the Jewish hit squad.
How about if I edit this one, buddy?
Yeah, let's.
I got Premiere too. I can edit this one.
Okay, I mean, all right. I'll save it. You motherfuckers are trying to kill me, aren't you?
What?
No. Why would we do that?
No, but
I have some people are trying to kill me since.
Getting back to our topic.
Hold on a second. Hold on, Ben. Before you go too far. Getting back to topic is something we don't do here. Okay.
Also, fact checking.
Yeah, there's none of that. Anyway, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
So, death is the great equalizer. If you're here, you're going to die. And so I think that principle, big movement, the memento mori, remembering that you too shall die. If you remember that in every moment that your time here is limited, it becomes precious and sacred. And I think that part of why I love my job is that I get to witness some of the most beautiful things in people, like saying goodbye to their family members and holding the hand of someone while they pass away. And
how often do you see someone pass?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
How do you deal with that? How was it at first compared to now?
So at first, my first experience with death was as a nurse aide in a local hospital in Saginaw. And it was more just like going in to provide post-mortem care, which is like bathing and carrying and putting someone in a body bag and sending them to the morgue. Okay. So that, it didn't affect me emotionally at all. And then, I worked in as a direct care worker years ago and watched someone go through the hospice process. But then I actually took a job with the Tony and Trish home in Auburn. And so I got to see people in their process of passing away and got to be there a couple times when people died, but it had limited experience with it. And then, getting into the emergency department and seeing traumatic deaths and those are a different animal. Those are you have to compartmentalize what's going on, turn it off, and go deal with the next person.
And that's
you cannot emotionally process someone's death in a traumatic situation and then go into the next room and take care of someone who's there trying to get better. You can't. You just got to turn it off. And so you get real cold and you get real callous, and you have to pretend that this is just another thing. And
is that why you threw my vape in the fucking street, Ben?
I did that. I did that because I love you, and you told me you wanted to quit. So
I still do.
But getting into hospice care, though, getting to be there when someone passes away is an honor and a privilege. And I know that sounds really weird.
No,
but
it doesn't, because the reality is, if it was you taking this as just a job and nothing else, then your perspective would just be numbers, and it would be you would honestly, if you're looking at it just as a job, you would take home all of that shit, and you would let it spill out into every area of your life.
Probably.
Now, do you have instances where it does?
Oh my God, yes. Some of those bad deaths. A few years ago, taking care of, I was a 13-year-old boy, and how brave that kid was, and how ready, even though, I mean, you can't really be ready, like rare form cancer, he was ready, right? And then being with his family and being with his mom and dad and his siblings when he passed away, it was like, man, when I left there, I was a wreck.
Yeah.
And other times when people aren't really prepared, like in the hospital, and it's a wean and they're young, and it's like a wean off of life support.
Yeah.
Some of those really get you, but for the most part, most people who are on hospice are elderly people and who have lived life, and I would say well over half are more than ready by the time their death comes.
Yeah.
That's heavy shit, man.
Again, like, if you're born,
you're going to die.
You're going to die. It's easier for people who are actually dying than it is family members. And so
I've never seen that.
That's the challenge, is trying to navigate feelings of family members, because there's all sorts of feelings that come up in the end, guilt, remorse, anger, relief.
I felt guilt because I felt relief after my, no, I know, no. I'm talking 20 years ago when my grandmother passed away. I felt guilty by the time I was around 21 or 22. When she died, I was 18, 19, and by the time I was old enough to drink, I realized I was sitting in the bar, and I felt terrible that I felt good because I didn't have to hear her confusing people's names and screaming in the middle of the night and dragging her into the bathtub, that just no semblance of life left whatsoever, no dignity whatsoever. And I remember praying to God saying, please take her, because she wants to see her husband again. She'd rather be with that, all those things, And then I'm sitting at home and I get a phone call from my dad, and he says, "Look, Mom, Grandma's going. I'm coming to get you right now." And I was blown out of my mind, and I'm like, I've heard this every Christmas the past 5 fucking years, whatever. I was pretty flippant about it, and then by the time we got to the hospital, she was gone. And the scene was, the body was recoiled in an odd way, and she had like thrown up all over herself. And I'll always have that image in my mind because, one, there was a sense of gratitude. Like, if I had been there while that was all going on, I probably would have lost my shit, because I don't deal with death well, like, at all. And I've never been in the room when someone that I love has passed on.
Yeah, I think, honestly, even if someone's like in the most comatose state, I really think that they get to choose when they let go. I really believe that. One of the more interesting things with working in hospice is that a huge number of people when they're actively dying, that means they're unresponsive. They're having changes in their breathing pattern. Many of them have increased tracheal secretions.
Yeah.
And family members are with them constantly. Like, they do not leave. They will wait until their family member gets up and goes to the bathroom, and they'll die when they're in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
it's extremely personal.
What about that thing when one person dies and then the other person has been married for 50 years dies within like 2 weeks?
That is a real thing. I don't exactly. It's basically broken-hearted syndrome. Yeah. It's a physiological thing.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck it, let's both go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about it,
right.
But that's
hear about it all the time.
Yeah, that's a thing. So, another cool thing if we're talking fun facts, hospice.
Mm-hmm.
Generally,
fun facts, hospice. Those are two things you don't usually hear.
Well, a lot of people, I will say a majority, have, and you can take this any way you want depending on what you believe. Some people will say it's hallucinations. Other people will call it other things, but they get visitors who either tell them that their time is getting close or that they're ready to take them.
Yeah.
And they'll be reaching up for them or talking to people in the corner. And it's a pretty good sign that the end is coming close.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So
it makes them feel better generally too, probably.
Yeah, I've never seen it scare anyone.
Really?
And, in general, hallucinations tend to scare people, especially if it's, a delusionary thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to believe that I don't know what the fuck is happening after you die.
Right.
But I don't believe it's nothing.
You're supposed to go on a giant DMT trip.
Well, so 2018, they started using psilocybin research for terminal patients. Mm-hmm. Upwards of 60 to 85% of patients received a positive effect that was long-lasting, permanent, until they passed away, to relieve anxiety, fear, and depression for end of life. 65 to 85%. That's a fuck ton.
Yeah,
it is.
Feel free to fact check me on that, but
Ben, I don't feel the need to fact check you.
It's incredible. I think we could make so many strides towards giving someone a good death that we just don't, because it's about the bottom line, and it's about whose liability is this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
well, caring for, you don't get many repeat patients in hospice care. So,
did you put something extra in this coffee today?
What? Crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine?
Crack.
I think I want some of that cocaine. Holy, you've gone down to that cup a couple of times now. I think you want some more.
Did I stop blinking?
Yeah, you did.
I've seen Chris blink a few times.
Sir.
He's used to it now.
Pre-workout, coffee, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
What do we got left here?
Well, we usually get, if we make it to 45 minutes, which we always do, we just kind of decide to wrap up from there. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot. What's your name again?
Eusafia the Magnificent.
Okay, Rabbi. Well, ask him. What's your final parting question there?
What's my final parting question?
Okay, Chris, what you got?
I don't know. I was just thinking more about hospice care. Let's see here. Hospice care, end of life. I remember my grandmother being dementia, and she was like healthy, but like she mentally was gone. So the people that we're talking about that would have how'd you phrase the term?
Felt relief?
Yeah. Like, so it wouldn't just be dementia patients. It'd be people that are physically like in pain that you would advocate for have a quality death, right? Not just because you don't know who you are.
Yeah, I don't, unfortunately, if we're talking like medically assisted suicide, dementia, and Alzheimer's patients would be non-eligible.
Okay.
You have to be of complete sound mind to make that decision. No one can make that for you. So otherwise, it's euthanasia.
Where you're doing it for what you believe is the good of the patient.
Yeah, you're making the decision.
Yeah.
That I think that it's the lack of being able to do it yourself, and then the lack of the ability to make that informed consent is the issue. So,
Yusuf, anything yet, or are you just twiddling thumbs back there?
So
Hey, I'm very quiet.
let me get back to you're talking about relief,
Right. Yes.
feeling relieved when someone has passed. I think for many, 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 many people that I've been there when they've passed, you can physically feel the relief in the room when someone's passed away from their family members. It's palpable. Like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this to happen. You know, they were suffering. Thank God.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a bad situation. Sometimes it's horrible, and they were just praying for them to die.
Yeah.
And so it's like when they actually let go, it's oh man, it's freedom. And it's freedom not only for the patient, but for their family. And I don't think you should ever feel guilty about that, because we're all going to die.
Well, so I was in Essexville. It was a Thursday night when Mom passed away, and I was in Essexville, and there were a lot of people there that night. Everybody walked up after, because I got the phone call right in the middle, and so I stepped outside.
Is that there?
I don't know if you were.
I think you might have been there because I was there.
You were there?
Yep.
I didn't know you were there.
Danny was there.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I was there.
And everybody came up and talked to me afterwards. And we had one friend, and she walked up and she says, okay, so this is going to really fucking suck. You know, and my initial thought has always been like, but it's like I knew instinctively that she didn't come at me with any malice. It's gonna suck. That this is gonna suck. So when I got the phone call, I stepped out. I went outside, and I broke down. I was a fucking bucket of jelly. But like right after, I took probably the deepest breath I've ever taken in my entire life. My mom was never healthy my whole life. You know, she always struggled with one thing or another, and her pain was at an end. And I think going through what I did with Grandma, I mean, the guilt that I feel today is still unresolved issues that, you know, I have the process of the rest of my life to work on. But I don't feel any guilt about the relief of her passing. I don't. I feel like I kind of went through that with my mother. I know I still have to address it, and there's a lot I still have to work on there. But, I mean, I think my father, it's a different story. And I'm not going to put his business out there, but I know that we both handled it differently. And I had a support structure in place already. So, and you guys have been amazing through this process. But most importantly, everybody made me aware that, you know, the week after, you know, up until the funeral, all of it is going to really suck. But if I run from it and if I don't go through it, then I'm going to be in serious fucking trouble. And, you know, I tried, very unhealthy coping mechanisms, but I made it through. And today I feel like, you know, it hits me in waves still, being in that fucking house especially. But I go through this thing where it's like, you know, I feel, one, I know for a fact, if she was like sitting in this room watching this go on, like if she was sitting in the corner or whatever, she would adore you. She would not understand him. And she would despise him, absolutely despise him. Because even though she was a full-blooded Catholic, she was a registered Democrat.
Well, that's too bad for her.
My grandparents were Democrats.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
Too bad for them.
Well,
I don't subscribe to any political affiliation.
I'm proud of you.
I refuse.
All Democrats are racist.
And all Republicans are idiots. So
I think that's the whole idea, is to create that
disunity.
Yep.
But I love Fiction Hour when we start getting these facts on the show. So, Yusuf, do you have anything yet? I vamped for as long as I could. I tried giving you a pocket. If you got nothing, you are suspended from the show for a week.
Yell about dicks. Go on, do your thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Go on.
Bring some levity.
Come on.
You butt fucker.
Come on.
Do it.
Let's go.
He's going through something, man.
No, I try to be serious for serious episodes because other's it's like
Since
Oh,
when?
dude, I held back
Is this a
about 20
serious
suicide
episode?
jokes. Shit.
Yeah. So
Make them.
yeah.
Let's hear them. Let's
I'm ready.
hear 'em.
Yeah.
Great, what do you
please.
got?
What?
What do you
I
got?
got nothing right now.
Jeez.
Come on.
Yeah, death comes for us all. I don't know what to say. He's right. It's the one fact of the world. It keeps me solid in my life.
I mean, we were never disputing that. Of course, he's right. So
May go to sleep and never wake up. I don't know. I don't got nothing for it besides, yeah, he's right.
I mean, I think it's good that everybody dies eventually. Like, you don't want to just like grow old and like
Be a
feel
vampire?
no. I want to get frozen when I'm about 50. In that
You want to be Disney?
No,
Walt
not
Disney?
frozen. Like actually frozen. Like I want to be locked in at being 50 years old, and I want to live for like 1,000 years, and then I
At
can die.
50?
Yeah, at 50.
You're a
That sounds
vampire?
like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my
You
life.
can get like robot. You can get like robot organs.
Maybe. Yeah, like half man, half Terminator.
I just want a
vampire.
robot dick.
There we go.
There it is. Finally. All right.
Thank you.
Go buy one.
Go gadget dick.
I think they exist, man.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
yeah. They
I'm not talking about
They
a
assemble
dildo.
like a transformer and everything.
I'm talking about a robot dick.
No, like
They have robot dicks, bro. Real deal?
I mean, I think there's like
The girls have them.
Yeah, there's like a whole genre of pornography.
Section at the store. They buy them.
yes, there is.
It's like fucking
Isn't that in
machines.
your fucking wheelhouse over there? By the way,
Not.
Mr.
I'm
fucking
not
anime?
talking about dildos and.
no. He says there's a whole fucking genre of porn based on it. Isn't that kind of near your wheelhouse?
Your anime thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
That
like
weird
anime, but I
fucking
don't.
subculture, a tentacle, fucking whatever
What's
going on.
what's that?
Hentai.
Oh,
Hentai. You're talking about some weird dick tentacle monsters, huh?
Yeah.
I hear you, buddy.
Hey, look, I've been in plenty of South End bars. I've seen some weird dick
interdimensional
tentacle monsters.
dick monsters.
You ever been to Trix's Pub before, Ben?
fortunately, no.
Okay, that place.
That's on Broadway?
Yeah, it's not open anymore.
no.
That was Dick Tentacle City. It really was.
I bet it was. Is a spinning wheel? Is that still a swinger? Still?
It's now the inner. The spinning wheel. The spinning wheel. Yeah, I was in there one night.
Swingers bar.
Yeah, the guy who he owned a construction company. I went in there one night, and here's the owner. He's like on the other. He's on the customer side of the bar. There's this waitress on the other side of the bar. His wife is sitting here. I walk in. I'm like, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" He's like, "Fucking great." And then he leans over, pulls the waitress's top down, and started sucking on her titties right there in the bar. Put him back up, and then kissed his wife after that. And I'm like, "Do I stay here and just enjoy the fuck out of this?"
You know he stayed.
No, I didn't. I left. I was too nervous. I was like, something bad's going to happen here. And I'm sure it did, but I left. I don't know if it's still, I think it is still, like when the wheel is spinning.
You know what they say, don't leave before the miracle starts.
Listen, that was the bar I went into one night. It was about 12 years ago, and a picture of my dick got put on like every table in the whole bar because of some girl that got pissed off at me.
What year was this?
Oh my
Like
god.
2013.
Oh,
14.
flower dick Pete.
Oh,
Yeah.
flower
It wasn't
dick.
the flower
Dick.
dick picture. It wasn't the flower. That was
Flaccid or fully erect?
in between. Like I said, I'm a grower, not a
Chubbers.
shower, so
Ski
get off
dick.
my fucking back about
He's
it.
got chubbers dicks.
Yeah, I put a ski mask on it and everything.
He's getting excited. We're talking about sex, and he's excited.
Yeah, every time you mention dicks, he just comes out. What do you do to that dog? Expresses anal glands. Yusuf, parting words.
For like the fourth time.
Okay, goodbye. Chris.
Let's go.
Ben?
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for coming on, Ben.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Commissioner Gordon.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
I just
Gordon.
got that.
Good evening.
It took me the whole episode.
Your name has
You
been...
didn't know your name is Ben Gordon?
It took me the whole fucking episode.
Oh my god.
Good evening, Commissioner. All right.
That's why a lot of people think that I'm related to Ra's al Ghul.
You're not?
Oh, he is one of my cousins.
It's...
Like to join the league?
Gonna throw you in the Lazarus pit. Okay. You guys have a great... What day is this again?
I don't know.
Fake Monday? Is it Fake Monday?
Fake Monday.
All right, have a great Fake Monday. Get out of the doghouse and shut the fuck up. All right. Bye.
Peace.
No, I'm busy tonight, actually.